You talking to me?
Did you have a brain tumor for breakfast?
Then who the hell else are you talking? You talking to me?
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like a clown. You know?
I'm Peter Venkman. We all go a little mad sometimes.
Man that doesn't spend time with his family can never be a real man.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a big deal.
First rule of my club is do not talk about it like
Yeah, baby.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
Andy Lewin,
Stephen Radford.
welcome back to Frame by Frame.
It's an absolute pleasure. How are you doing, Stephen?
I'm doing okay. I always seem
Summer's
to
out the way. Goddamn summer holidays and kids.
Oh, summer, yeah.
Goddamn those stupid kids getting in the way of doing what we want to do.
Very much so. It's like, there's that, and there's also, yeah, just getting into the new regime of Catherine having a new job, and I'm fitting in with that, and it's a weekly thing now instead of a fortnight like thing. Shifting around a fortnight's rota is a nightmare because you want to have consistency every week. So, but now I got my Thursdays. Thursdays are mine, baby, and this is it.
That's it. Frame by frame Thursdays.
I just called you baby. That's not a good start.
That's not. I like it. I'm rolling with it.
Rolling with it. So, yeah, Frame by Frame, season 10.
Oh my God. Who'd have thought it? Everyone said it wouldn't go past season 1.
Who said
naysayers.
that? Yeah, who was that? Who said that? Because I haven't heard from them. Yeah.
My mum said it.
Oh, your mum. Yeah.
Yeah, but I punched her in the face. Went, shut up, Mum, and punched her. And she was,
Oh,
all right, son. I had that coming.
Had that coming for sure.
A few minutes in, I'm already talking about punching my mum in the face.
Punching your mum in the face. You know what? I've had worse this morning. I mean, we were a friend of mine, Stephen, and I were another Stephen, the two Stevens. We were testing some indie games, and I found one called "Bring Me the Shawarma." And I thought, from what I look at, it looked fine. It's Japanese animation, but of course, Japanese animation has a slight genre that kind of tilts into something a little bit, risky. And yeah, it was actually, it looked like it's a parody on hentai, which, I didn't realize it was a parody on hentai, but it's basically a girl, a Japanese girl who loves shawarma, and it makes her world complete. And she literally moves to wherever the best shawarma place is. But the thing is, she eats these shawarmas suggestively, and she sleeps with a giant shawarma pillow. And we got so far into the game and we thought this is going to start getting a little bit sexual, I can tell. And we stopped. We stopped.
Can I ask you, how long were you playing the game before you come to that realization? It was like an hour?
Well, it's like, I swear it said horror, indie, comedy kind of a game. But it wasn't even a game. It was a visual novel where you just click to go for the dialogue, and it got to the point where the word hentai came up in our understanding of what this could be going to, and I thought, oh yeah, it looks like it could be getting that way, so we stopped. But we had the courage to stop.
Proud of you. Very proud of you.
Yeah, but yeah, it's October, and the thing is about October is that it's the month of horror, pure horror, and your birthday. Yeah.
Not long.
Yeah.
Which is horrific in itself.
Which is horrific and traumatic, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But
46, mate.
No way. Oh, you're only a couple of years. You're just a couple of years ahead of me. That's all right. I'll allow it.
Thanks.
But of course, we missed the boat with the release of Alien Romulus when it first came out. Because of summer. Summer was not going to let us talk about anything.
No. But it's never too late. And I think it's best when you wait for everyone else to talk about it. So no one wants to talk about it ever again. And then we get to talk about it afterwards when no one's going to bother listening to us talk about it.
Yes.
It's the best time to do it.
And I knew if we just waited a couple of weeks, it'll be released on streaming eventually. So it's pretty much we're reviewing it for the streamers. That's it.
Yeah. No one thinks of the streamers, but we do.
We do. Yeah, those people who go to the cold steel theaters of liquid cheese.
Yeah, liquid cheese and overpriced popcorn.
So how?
That being said, this would have been a film that would have been very good to watch in the cinema.
Impact event in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
But this was different. This was not what I was expecting.
What did you expect?
I was expecting. Well, we watched the trailer. Remember when we had Furiosa? We watched the trailer.
Yeah.
And I was a little bit down on it. I was thinking, it's just going to be nostalgia schlock. And don't get me wrong, it is. But it was.
It is, yeah.
It's nostalgia schlock, but it's still a better movie than anything since Alien 3.
Yeah. I'd agree with that.
I think Alien 3...
People are really down on Alien 3, but I think it's not a bad film at all.
Yeah. Alien 3, it's a soft spot for me, because I think it was brave enough to do a storyline that ended it.
Yeah.
And of course, Fox are dumb enough to... It was the era of resurrections. You know, it was the era... I mean, the 90s killed off a lot of main characters, a lot of main people, supernatural horror villains, and then the word resurrection was very, very popular. So, of course... Yeah. So, since then, it's always been... I mean, especially since Requiem... Since AVP Requiem, I've felt very skeptical. But this surprised me.
Good. I'm glad. Now, you can say what you want, but Fede Alvarez knows his way around a set piece.
Very true. Very true. He knows... I mean, there are some great shots.
Yeah, I wanted to get that out of the way before we really got into it, because I think there's some genuinely tense and very well made set pieces in this. He seems to be a director who's at home when he's surrounded in schlock, blood and guts and goriness, like his remake of Evil Dead from 2013, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He seems to be good with that. He's like, give me all the guts, give me all the gore, I'll give you tense, I'll give you everything you want to have in an Alien film, good or bad, it's there.
Yeah, but were you surprised to find that it actually had heart? It had, to a certain extent.
Have heart,
yeah, it had a little bit more heart. I mean, out of all the character building, I think they focused more on character building than any other Alien film. Yeah.
And much like the very first one, not a lot happens for quite a while. Which I love. You're getting to know the characters.
Yes.
You know, they're all beautiful.
Also, pretty people working in a mine, because that's how they look when you're working in a mine.
I'm on a planet which there's no sun, but that's okay. But we've still got nice tans and complexion.
Yes.
Hey, I'm overthinking it.
No, but you're absolutely right. But then you think, well, they obviously have, they have the facilities, self-tanning. I mean, if tanning shops don't exist anymore, I'd be very surprised. But yeah, you're right. They should all be kind of very squinty, kind of. They don't need to use their eyes very much, you know.
Well, I did hear that Nexus 8 that you don't really hear about. That was just all tanning beds. That place, Nexus 8, just all tanning beds.
That makes sense. It's all making sense now. Tanning beds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
But, I get why they did what they did. I get why they go to the ship. I get why they're trying to escape the horrible, huge conglomerate, corporation that's controlling everything.
Yeah. I mean,
You know?
sure, there's a lot of convenience in the storyline, but then the more you throw at it, the more plot holes you're going to have to work yourself out of. You know? Setting up your world to be straightforward and easy would make sense. The fact that they're actually able to just leave the planet without there being any issue.
Yeah. No security.
No
Just
security.
leave the planet.
Yeah, but you kind of just... It's the kind of movie where you're just constantly saying to yourself, okay, I'm going to let them off because I want to see what's going to happen. It doesn't... It's not boring. You want to just let them move forward with the storyline. There's nothing in the storyline that makes you go, don't do that. I can't believe you did that. I'm getting angry and frustrated. I don't want to watch anymore. That's Requiem.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
To a certain extent, that's Prometheus. You know, you're kind of pulled in, and that's which is about time. It's about time they actually.
But on a personal level as well, I'm really happy that it's a lot of practical effects as well.
Yeah. Basketball player who got himself into an alien costume. Yes, do that. Yes. And it does make a huge difference. It does make a massive difference, and you do feel it. And I think on set as well, the acting is going to be more believable if they're actually standing there in front of what they're supposed to be standing in front of.
Yeah, as opposed to a golf ball that's 8 feet high, saying that's an alien. It's about to do the thing through your skull. So just act like that. Okay.
Yeah. Shame on you, George Lucas.
Yeah. You frog chin bastard.
Ribbit.
Yeah.
So and let's talk about the cast. I mean, let's talk about that. I mean, they went for young.
Yeah, young and pretty.
Young. Oh yeah, young, pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah. They hang on. The girl who was pregnant having a baby, you do know what movie she was in prior to this?
I do, but now I forgot.
Dora,
I actually looked it up.
Dora the Explorer.
All right, no, I didn't know that. I would have remembered that.
And that tickled me. That made me laugh because I thought this would be an amazing crossover if she was Dora.
From 10. Will you count backwards from 10 with me?
Let's turn right. Oh my god, there's a xenomorph there.
You heard the map right? Or do you want to see what else is in my backpack? Fantastico! Whoa! Oh no! Boots, are you okay? I'm okay, Dora. An egg! Let's see what prize is inside the egg. What's inside this egg?
Yeah, the plot is great up until a point, and it always seems to be up until a point.
Yeah,
it's kind of nice layout with the station. The idea of this science station being the one that pulled in the Nostromo, the remains of the Nostromo. Again, the alien from the original movie cocooned itself and was able to survive in space. Convenient.
Yes. Convenient, but stretch. But I kind of can go with that, I think.
Yeah, and it's... Again, this is kind of like the movie that you're letting off on certain things, and you think, okay, let's go with that.
I mean, exactly. A lesser movie, you wouldn't.
No.
And we'd probably lose 15 minutes talking about it, but because there is so much to like about this, yeah, you'd let them off because they're just ticking boxes to get to what they want to do, which is all the mayhem.
It's like, how do we get to this point? Well, we need to do all this, and they have to say, well, they didn't need to have the alien from the original film as a source of that. They didn't need that. I mean, they could have very easily have set this film any time after LV-426.
Yeah, I would have. I think I would have actually preferred if it had nothing to do
with
that
film at all. Yeah, of course.
It was just a completely standalone film.
They could have done that.
They could have easily done it, but I understand why they haven't. I understand why they're trying to bring these, they're trying to link it to the first film and bridge the gap to the second film. I get it. I totally get it. I wish they hadn't.
Exactly.
But they did. And there we go,
And I think there was a lot of love for the original film, like there was for the game Alien Isolation. They wanted that look. They wanted that feel, that the sounds, the atmosphere. What Ridley created in that movie originally has stayed with us, and it is the absolute perfection. I mean, look at it. It's right there, man. It's right there. That's the board game version. And that's what we're there for. That's why there were movies like Outland and so many movies I can name that kind of kept the fate that carried it on, that look, that feel, because it worked.
Yeah.
And but what it's like with Alien Resurrection. I mean, the whole thing about the the fact that Ripley died in magma, and then they actually were able to find DNA of her and the alien within that magma. Completely implausible. And that was unforgivable. But for this, it's, the alien's there, the ship is there, the ability to get off the planet is there, and the idea of them going for the pods, looking for those pods to find that colony, is great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we kind of we're there. We're with them, and then face huggers.
Yeah. Face huggers.
A lot.
So yeah, I have a theory on this. I think when I was watching the film, I was messaging you about it, weren't I? One, face hugger, terrifying. Two, it's kind of an inconvenience. More than that, you can just bat them away with a bat. It would seem to be.
It seems to be.
Don't run away from that. They're all flying. He's just got that pipe and he's just banging them away, and they don't come back. I'm like, oh,
they don't come back. They become that martial arts movie where the bad guys circle. If it's the same with martial arts movie. If it's Bruce Lee versus one, that is going to be one heck of a fight that goes on for ages, right?
Yeah.
If Bruce Lee versus two, then they'll play off each other, and it will be a little bit of a like you say, an inconvenience. But when Bruce Lee is surrounded by 50 henchmen, they all come one by one, boom, knocked down. Next one.
We'll see him fighting, and you can see them all surrounded him, and then just moving back and forwards, waiting for it's my time to get the shit kicked out of me.
Some aren't. Some are actually sitting there eating shawarma. I don't know why shawarma has to be a part of this.
Shawarma, honestly. Every time you think of shawarma, you're going to get an involuntary erection.
Sound effects, okay. But yeah,
that was the thing. I've always found the face huggers to be the scariest part of these films.
Of course,
horrible, terrifying things, and then not so much in this. That there was too many of them. And again, I forgive it because I understand it. They're all laying dormant, waiting to be woken up, and there's loads of them and breeding.
But that should have been game over. That should have been game over if you kept with the they all have the same strength ability. They all still have the acid for blood, which again there's a couple of moments where acid for blood is like the most important thing in their world. And then there's a couple of moments where it's completely disregarded.
Yeah. It's like a convenience when they need it.
Everything is a convenience. Yeah.
We have acid for blood. We can use that at this bit to do this. All Right. Okay. Great.
But wait a minute, David the android, he shoots the alien above him, and there's no gravity. There's gravity now. Where does the acid for blood go? No, it just disintegrates. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Okay, just nobody will notice. It's the heroic moment, and plus, we'll just give him a really, really good line to make people forget about the acid for blood.
Not ready to talk about that bit yet.
Not ready. Not ready. Not ready. I'm sorry.
As everyone has said, though, he's really good. The guy playing Andy the android is brilliant.
Andy, and he's Andy. You know, dependable Andy. You know, he's and I agree. He played that character really well, and I think the androids are always good in these movies. I mean, Ian Holm was incredible as Ash. Lance Henriksen, he made his career from Bishop. You know, he was. You know, that there was nothing before and virtually nothing after. Everything that he's done, it's always it's Bishop. And again, I guess Winona Ryder, not the best android, but that's okay.
No,
but Fassbender, brilliant.
Fassbender, Fassbender's brilliant.
Great performances. You know, performance-wise, you can't go wrong. I mean, the actors, they're given their lines, they understand their characters. They either do a sincere job or they don't. They either have fake British accents or not, depending on where you need to go. And yeah, so if ever you do get a chance to be in an alien movie, go for the android job, because you know you're going to be you've got so much to play with there.
Yeah, and he's two different distinct characters. Really good.
Which you always like. You like duality. And I know you like those kind of films where a character is you're very much an Edward Norton fan in that regard. He's able to tap into so many different personalities. But this is a good one. And the race against time to get the chip in and out, and the moments of inconvenience where he's disabled because of it. Yeah, it ramps up that tension.
It does. It does. And just the part before all the facehuggers start jumping around and having gymnastic lessons, the part leading up to that is, again, quite tensional when they're all the water and they're all just starting to wake up, and you know, because you've seen the films before, what's about to transpire. The characters don't know what's about to happen, and you're like, it's getting really tense. And there was a few bits where I was kind of like, oh. But when the action kicks off, I was never like, it was just, okay, yeah.
The tension builds as soon as you release that tension with action. Action is always going to just be... I mean, there's a way of doing tension in action. You've just got to keep on holding back to sight. You've got to keep on holding back. But once you're in that action scene and it's all over the place, you know that they're going to be fine or not.
I think you've just tapped into the perfect way to talk about this film. Is exactly that. It's they don't hold on to the tension long enough. The moment the action kicks off, it's an action film and it's no longer scary.
Yeah, that was the problem with Alien Resurrection. Alien Resurrection was not scary at all. You can't sit there and watch, and you never once do you feel, you never have that gasp. But you do in this, but only in the moments where they're not holding pulse rifles, or you know they're okay. As soon as you arm them, they're okay.
Yeah. And and I guess the setups are obvious, aren't they? You know, when you find out that girl's pregnant, you're like, all right, well, something horrible's going to happen there.
Oh yeah, they're going to go there, and
that's actually, again, you're on the money today, because that's it. You think other films go, no. This film goes there. It goes to some really nasty, grisly place,
and it has to because it knows that it can't set up. You can't show the gun without knowing that it's going to be used in the third act. You know?
Yeah. The little X-ray machine thing.
Yeah.
That's gonna. And now it's in the trailer. They shouldn't have put that bit in the trailer because you knew what was coming. And I wish they hadn't, because that is actually Because sometimes in a film,
Yeah.
you'll see this thing, you think, well, that's gonna come in later in the film, and sometimes it doesn't. You think it's been a cut scene because they must have used that apparatus later in the film. They cut it for some reason, but it's in the trailer, so you know what was about to happen. I wish they not put that bit in the trailer with the X-ray machine, because that's truly horrific. We can see it inside her wrapping around, it starts to burst out of her chest. It's horrific.
Absolutely, but it's the action of doing that yourself, and because you know something is inside of you, it's almost too clean an action for somebody to do for the sake of somebody else.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to do this, but there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it. I'm just going to show you what's going on inside of me, just so, you know. I'm in conflict with the idea of her reaching for it and doing that, and not just panicking. It's too clean and clear an action to do for the sake of somebody else seeing what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah, so basically, did that pull you out of that moment?
Yeah, that's it.
Were you thinking, like, no one would ever do that? If you've got this excruciating pain inside you, you're not going to grab a gun. Well, what is it?
Well, you're not going to just say, "Oh, just for your viewing pleasure, you can see what's going on. I can't see it." It's all about wanting to see it yourself. Yeah, you'd run to the mirror first, I think, and look at look at yourself.
Okay, yeah, I agree. But also, if you're just purely going, most films you watch, you've seen it all before. I don't think I'd ever seen it like that before. Now, it's just as ridiculous as Prometheus
Alien 3.
What?
Ripley goes into the scanner in Alien 3.
She does. It's not the same as that. It's not done the same, is it?
No, but that's
over
because Alien 3 still had a heck of a long gestation period before she actually gave birth to that alien. So they had the convenience of time, and maybe that's what I'm measuring up against, the fact that Ripley had time to just have a look. If she'd have done that earlier and noticed that there was something inside of her, would it have created a different sense of jeopardy for her, knowing it a little bit earlier, but not just seconds before it bursts out?
Yeah, and also, okay, so this draws into question, what is the gestation period of...
There isn't one. There is no... in this movie, there's no meaning to it.
Yeah.
There's no meaning behind... Yeah.
The first Alien film, it takes him hours for it to leave him and for it to burst out of him.
I'd say
we're talking minutes.
Yeah, minutes. I mean, it's the same with anything from Alien Resurrection onwards. It takes a convenient amount of time. That's all it is. It's always just a convenient amount of time, depending on what the film. I mean, they're not even editing it to make it feel as though time has passed for that to suddenly... If somehow she was... I mean, you need her to be on that ship before they actually get there. Get impregnated beforehand. You know, wouldn't it have been different if one of them had gone ahead already? She's already there, saying, if she was on the planet and she actually said, I'm not going to go, and then she just disappears, and she, you know, because she actually wants to go on her own. What if there was that conflict that she actually wanted to do this on her own because she was going to have a baby, and the father is actually on this colony, but if she took the others with her, she didn't trust that it was going to work or not. Get her ahead of the game. Make sure that she's impregnated well in good time. You've got a little bit of extra drama, a little bit of jeopardy, because you've got this one human crawling around like Newt. You know, that whole Newt moment. It's like, oh, what's happened to you? Tell me what's going on. Separate them, and then bring them together again. Maybe that would have.
And they could have Mute-inspired line. It's like, yes, at 7 a.m. we go on the sunbeds. Mostly. Little callback for you. Little
callback. So I found a clean spot here. No, that's just my tan.
That's it. Exactly.
Oh no, I made a clean spot. No, hang on, that's maybe they're just dirty. If they were just dirty, that would have been better.
Well, they are miners. Makes sense. You
Yeah.
get dirty when you're mining, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it is. Fixed
Yeah,
it.
it's all that hot stuff down there that's just made their skin a beautiful bronze.
So you know when everything hits the fan, want of a better term,
Not
is
Golic.
it just all too rushed?
Murphy.
Does it go too rushed?
Does it go rushed? Yeah, I think they cram. They go.
I did have a big problem with how quickly they burst out, how quickly the alien grows, how quickly our little baby at the end turns into a full-grown thing. It's just literally minutes, and it's a full-grown.
That's it. Gestation be damned. I mean, there is no. Yeah, they could have.
That's the tagline.
But
That's
then,
the tagline.
yeah.
Gestation be damned. That's the tagline for this.
Gestation be damned. Trimesters, forget about it. It's all about getting it to the next page. They're rushing. They don't want to savor it. They don't want to stop and let the character. I mean, you could easily have an alien movie where time passes. They've been on that ship for so long that it's drifted out of the system and towards another planet that has rings, instead of actually being straight away the planet that has rings they're going to go down. What if that ship was just on an autopilot? Once they arrive on the ship, it triggers an autopilot thing, and they start heading off towards something that ends up being the jeopardy of like a planet with rings. No, that the planet that they actually wanted to has been destroyed, and all there is this debris, and it's basically going towards this huge debris field.
Yeah.
Let them be on that ship for months with an alien on board. Give it that time. Let it be. There are so many ways around it, and I think if we were in the writers' room, they'd all be like, "No, man, let's just be cool. Let's slow it down, man."
Yeah, we need impregnation, but it needs to come out as quickly as possible.
That's the cocaine talk. You're on cocaine now.
We need all facehuggers. Yeah. Oh, more facehuggers, man!
You get them
all of them.
Bring them all in, and let's.
And then there's even parts where they're like climbing up and the aliens come in, you're like, oh no, and then this little facehugger starts to come out of shot and you're like, oh, there's a facehugger there, oh no, there's nothing to worry about, it's all fine.
It's fine. It's like going on a ride and everything's just passing you and you're safe. Nothing's gonna come out and get you. You might get a little bit wet down there, but you might That's it.
But ultimately, this film worked for you, didn't it? You enjoyed it.
I still came out satisfied because, I came out annoyed because of just one line that they could just so easily cut.
Yeah. And it was the robot, the android wouldn't have said that anyway.
It made no sense because it was,
On any level.
That is. I think that's just the stupidest. One of the stupid. They had their stupid head on when they came up with that, and of course, I watched a video of some guy who watched the assembly cut first. He saw the assembly cut to this movie, and that scene was not there with that dialogue. And if you watch it, I've watched it a few times. That piece of dialogue being said on videos that have been posted, and the face looks rubbery. I'm pretty sure that what that was a digital AI additional line that was inserted.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think it was inserted because somebody came up with a note that and it was obviously a brainless studio head who doesn't understand the franchise, doesn't realize that line, it's not just like Arnie saying, "I'll be back." Okay?
No.
We don't care about Arnie saying, "I'll be back." It is meaningless. But it does mean it when there is no context or connection or understanding that there's absolutely 0% reason for this character to say that line just because Ripley said that line in the film that is supposed to be a sequel to this.
Yeah.
It's not as if she said the line because, oh, I remember that android Andy. He said this in in Romulus. So therefore, I'm going to say, get away from her, you bitch.
Makes no sense.
That's probably the dumbest thing ever. And without it, it would have been a pretty good. It would have been a solid 8 out of 10 kind of a movie.
Yeah, I cringed, and I also did not like the zero gravity acid blood bit. I really didn't like that. Like I said to you after I watched it, it made me feel like it was Mission Impossible.
Yeah, it was Mission Impossible, and
there was no tension. I didn't feel any tension through that.
You don't.
Oh, and all of a sudden, all these fucking aliens everywhere are just floating, and all of a sudden they're not killing machines anymore. They just kind of go docile.
They're docile, yeah. They're docile, and yeah. And
she shot also, and that's where the acid blood comes from. But still, it was like,
if they had some extra characters in that film who actually were completely perforated by acid, it would have made more sense. If there was somehow a reason for her to not get caked in acid, perhaps she was in a suit. If there was a suit involved, it would have been a little bit more believable. And then she could watch her suit get disintegrated at different parts, and it's like, and the aliens would have probably ignored her if she was in a suit, because they ignored Ripley when she was singing. I'm glad.
I did like it when you knew the gravity was about to kick back in and they're trying to get up that sort of corridor thing.
Yes.
But then the tension started to come again, and then the aliens are on them, and there's a face hugger there. And I was like, yeah, okay, we're back. But that whole bit when they were just trying to get through it, just didn't like it at all.
Yeah, I liked the idea of it. I liked the execution of it in terms of CGI. The tension kind of was kind of like it was, but yeah, there are things to like about it. But there's so much to also be annoyed, because it does take you out of the reality of their jeopardy.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And the other thing that we've not talked about is obviously a certain character that comes back.
I can't lie to you about your chances, but you have my sympathies.
Yeah. Very good.
I'm the Ash.
Ash, yeah. Ash. What did you think of it?
Off-putting is definitely one of the words, and too much and unnecessary. 3 words.
Now, I know from doing a little bit of research that they cleared it with the Ian Holm Foundation.
The estate.
And they were okay.
Oh, yeah, money.
Yeah,
money!
You think that's it? You think it's purely just that, though? Because I don't think they really need the money. They must have money coming through there.
Maybe, but then, it can't be a decision of, oh, you know what, we love the character Ash so much, and our dad did that perfectly. No, it's purely for selfish reasons. We can go and see Dad in another movie. Granddad, you haven't seen your great granddad act in a film, have you? We can actually go to the cinema and watch him in his latest movie. Yeah, and so there's so many selfish reasons, but there's no reasons that are actually supporting the idea that it just didn't need it. They did not need it. It could have even been. I mean, clearly they have different androids. Science Division, Ash, fair enough. Rooker, and Ash they would look the same. That's what they're arguing. They're arguing that this is the time of Ash. This was the series of Ash, the model of Ash. But clearly there are others, like Andy. Do they all have to look the same? Do they, it's like, there's so many reasons for and against. But when it comes to a film using AI, and a British actor who actually did do the voice for him did a very good job. Yeah. Kudos to him. They could have just cast him as the android, saved a lot of money, saved a lot of conversation, and just had a good actor playing an android scientist. Yeah. Or not at all. Or even,
It could have been literally just the computer.
Could have been. Yeah. It does.
When it came up, I was expecting it because everyone had talked about it anyway. When it came up, I was like, I built it up in my head to be awful, and it was just as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I really, really didn't care for it, and that's what my overarching thoughts of the film is. I just wish they'd not linked it back to any. It just be a standalone Alien film.
Standalone.
I really
Alien
wish
film.
they'd done that.
Yeah, and it's either that. Well, I'm in two minds.
Yeah, I'd even would have forgiven it being the alien from the original film that just somehow got there, and then that's how all this mayhem has started on this ship. Cool, I'm all right with that. But yeah, just I don't know.
And I'm in two minds. I mean, to make it standalone, yes, or do the Alien Isolation thing and actually have Amanda Ripley looking for her mother, but then it becomes. You're walking into cliche territory. You're walking into the idea of it being connected, and as soon as you connect it, you're locked out of your imagination to do anything different. So yeah, make it standalone. Sever everything to do with that movie and just take it. You don't even have to have Wayland Yutani. You don't even need that. There are other companies, surely. There are
Argos.
Yeah, Argos totally changed their business perspective, and they tie in with Lush, and Lush, and they call it Argos.
Yeah, the reason Argos got on board with this is because they have the laminated book. Well, that laminate can't get through the laminate on that book, and that's what they use to battle the aliens, and that's why Argos are the biggest company in the future.
Exactly.
For Wayland.
And all that jelly soap that they can't wait to get their hands on. The Lush can't wait to get their hands on their drool, because the drool of an alien is perfect for making soap.
And if you go in the background, because Argos is only ever just a small little shop. It must be bloody huge behind there. It must be a warehouse like the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. The amount of crap that comes out. All aliens, they get the. And they grab the thing and they put it on the little thing, and you get your Mega Drive, or it's not Mega Drive anymore, PlayStation. You get your PlayStation that you paid for,
Mega Drive. It'll be the Mega Drive. Well, to be honest, the computer tech in 1979 film is pre Mega Drive, so maybe
Mega Drive.
it all comes around again. Yeah, they should all be wearing flares.
Sonic. Like that, getting really angry when you lose, and that
rage quitting, love it.
Yeah, when you throw your handset at the screen because you've lost. Well, they just do the second mouth thing right into the screen. You have to buy another screen, but luckily they work at Argos, so there's loads of TVs there. Just buy one from 20% plus VAT.
Yeah, well, at least we don't have to do the Michael Bay thing for this one.
No.
Okay, but with the other.
There's a new Michael Bay now for season 10. It's like, what would it be if Argos were controlling it?
If Argos the company became I can get behind that. I mean, the kids would still be kids, but they'll all be like disgruntled Argos workers who have to go on this work experience expedition on their spaceship to bring back. Lush Argos. They're like the two separate companies that have just merged. And they both have their priorities.
Argus.
But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's a watchable film. I will watch it again.
Absolutely, I'm actually looking forward to watching it again. To be honest,
I will watch Aliens, Alien 3, and Romulus. The rest. Yeah. I mean, I did try to watch. I watched Covenant, and yeah. It's well performed, and that's it. All I can get from Alien Covenant is that the performances, are fine.
They've linked it back, haven't they? Oh, sorry.
Hang on.
It all went weird then.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of a distortion. We might just have a little bit of a signal.
So, how do you feel them linking it back to the black oozy oil stuff and then the engineers at the end? They giving birth to
the Romulus goop that they showed. I think that's out of respect for Ridley, purely.
You think? Yeah.
They love the 1979 film. They couldn't have done it without Ridley, so they kind of feel guilty for totally burying. Yeah, I've got this kind of weird static thing going on my screen. That's kind of weird.
Right. There was a weird boop thing when it happened.
It's just a weird signal. Never seen that, but the sound is good. That's all we need to worry about. So yeah, out of respect for Ridley, why not? But at the same time, when did Prometheus happen and Covenant in relation to this? Because by the end of Covenant, they're transporting all those eggs. All those aliens are being transported by David or Johnny Walker, whatever his name is, William.
Yeah, Johnny Walker.
Johnny Walker. The Johnny Walker Company want to make a whiskey that actually has a little tiny alien in the bottom of it, kind of like a tequila. They kind of take on the tequila, you know. But yeah, I mean they set the.
I'm trying to look at the chronology. Trying to find the chronology of them because it's quite interesting, isn't it? Chronological. Right. So, here we go.
Yeah, we do have some weird stuttering. 1 second.
So apparently it goes Alien versus Predator, Alien versus Predator Requiem, Prometheus, Covenant, Alien, Alien Romulus, Aliens, Alien 3,
right.
Alien Resurrection, and that's it.
That's how it works. Yeah, Alien Resurrection is definitely the last movie.
Yeah.
Because humans are just not behaving like humans anymore in that movie anyway. it's beyond. Yeah, okay, so that kind of makes sense. But then it doesn't, because instead of actually going to finding the Nostromo and finding an alien that's managed to survive out in space, they could have so easily have just tied it in with Covenant.
Yeah.
Why did they not do that?
So at the end of Covenant, they fly off to this other place, don't they, wherever it was going to go?
Yeah, they're supposed to be going to a colony, but he's basically got an entire ship full of colonists and a ship full of eggs that he spewed up. He's got his entire colony to breed with, and that's what they're doing, including Daniels.
So I'd like to know what happens there. What happened? I'd like to know that storyline, wouldn't you? To at least just end it, that storyline.
Maybe just leaving it open is the whole idea now of just, saying, you know what, this is how we're going to end it. We're going to end it without you knowing anything or caring. Because then that means in Aliens, Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, and of course Romulus, this planet is out there with an entire colony of aliens. An entire planet of aliens that has never been discussed or been... So there you go. I mean, it's kind of like the franchise just loves to just fold in on itself, and I think that's kind of what happens. And what happens next will either follow on from Romulus or pick up from that. I don't think they really care where they're going to go with it, and they don't care if they continue a thread or not.
Well, there is a series coming out, isn't there?
That's it, and that's coming back to Earth, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Now, the guy who's done this is the guy who wrote Fargo and all that.
Ooh,
now, Fargo,
it's great.
A brilliant series. They are really, really good seasons of TV.
Mm-hmm.
So potentially there could be something good here.
Potentially, we might be lucky. I mean, TV series tend to have the time and the courage to explore storyline a little bit better than in movies. I mean, movies are not really hitting it in terms of story anymore, but TV series, ever since Lost, 24, and The Shield, and all the Wire, and all these programs that have been coming out since the early O's, the writing has gotten better. Fargo, Breaking Bad, Bad Men, The West Wing. I mean, there's a lot of well-written stories.
Or The Explorer.
Dora the Explorer. You just can't fault the level of storytelling in TV series.
So that could potentially be good. So I do think that what we're going to have to do with our frame by frame season, which is going to start exploring the 90s, when the series starts, I do think we should try and watch each episode as it comes out.
We should do that.
And we'll have a little alien series corner.
Yeah, little corner. And of course, you're going to have your Jackie Chan corner, so I hope you're going to lock in with movies of Jackie Chan from 1990.
Absolutely. You just wait.
That's our little bonus extra bit. That's not a part of the 5, so don't stick Jackie Chan in any of your 5.
It's literally going to be a couple of minutes just to talk about what he was up to at the time.
What happened? Jackie Chan in 1990. That's it. Jackie Chan in 1991.
It's kind of the height of his powers at that point, so I'm looking forward to looking into it. It'll be good.
Yeah, I can't think of anything punchy or a title for this, but mark my words, by next week, there will be graphics. Okay?
Oof. Well, that's my sleep gone for the week. I'm too excited now.
You're done for that. That's it. So, yeah, there we go.
Oh, yeah, Formula. Yeah, watch it. It's a good film.
Watch it and include it in. Yeah, I'd say it is the in the top 4. It's in the top 4.
Yeah, it does. It suffers from what a lot of films suffer from. Is don't think too much about it, because the more you think about it, the more it just doesn't make sense or stand up in any way.
And of course, nostalgia fatigue. Those are the two things that it kind of just. But yeah, we're able to forgive it on so many levels, and that's at least something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Either we're growing or we're dumbing down. Which is it?
Let's go with growing.
We're growing.
Let's go with growing.
We're accepting. Yes, we're accepting in our old age.
Yeah.
So,
cool.
Yeah. Well, it's been great. It's been a little bit shorter this week. I don't think we got on an hour and 20, but I think...
Yeah, well, I'm teaching online in 5 minutes, so I will have to go.
That's it. So 51 minutes. That's actually a good time. That's good. That's kind of back to our roots of
we'll just wait till next week. It's going to go a lot longer than that.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for joining me, Andy. And of course, shout out to you guys for Face the Strange, and of course, the soul of Fleetwood Mac, which is going to be raging across venues. Look them up, please do.
We've just been taken on by the biggest band agency in the country, possibly Europe. Have just took us on.
No way.
So, yeah.
No way.
If you look them up, they're called the Live Agency. Look them up. And they have the Bootleg Beatles on but the Bootleg Beatles will not do a gig for less than $10,500.
Wow. This is it. This is it.
And we're on the same books as them now, so it's potentially going to be huge. So
brilliant. Yes.
Who knows?
Congratulations.
Whatever happens, we'll be here doing this because this is my favourite part of the week.
Perfect. Glad to see. I'm glad everything's going well, and we will be back next week for more fun and shenanigans.
Yeah, well, we're hitting our 90s thing next week, aren't we?
We are. So yeah, next week expect a lot of I don't know what to expect. I think it's going to be different. It's going to be fun, and we're going to run through a whole decade for this season of 90s movies because we just want to.
Yeah.
Because Billy Piper said
why
that
not?
In a song.
Well, it's because I watched US Marshals and then The Fugitive and then loved both films. And I was like, yeah. And then we had a discussion about it, and then it was like, it's a no-brainer. Let's talk about 90s films.
We're on it. We're on it. That's the ticket for next week. So thank you so much, Andy. And we're actually ending well. We began well. Maybe this is the new us for Frame by Frame. I love it.
Yeah. I think it might be. I think there's a new cohesive, coherent, and other words beginning with a C.
But wait, because we're going to end now. What? How do you say bye? Bye, 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 bye.
You just done it.
Oh.
Bye.
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 Bye. Bye. Fucking milk.
I feel the need, First speed.
This is fantasy.
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
Quit griping.
I like griping.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.